The OF2200EB router is a powerful dual-handed plunge router that offers a user accuracy, safety, and also has a system of accessories built around it to cover many applications. In this guide, we will look at the different features, setup, and general operation. The power switch is located at the rear of the right-hand side of the handle. For continuous operation, the switch can be locked by means of the button next to the main switch. The switch can be unlocked and tool turned off by pressing the main power switch again. After the router has been switched off, the milling cutter will still rotate for a short time until the brake stops it. The OF2200 has variable speed control adjustable between 10,000 and 22,000 RPM and can be adjusted using the speed indicator dial. This enables you to optimise the cutting speed to suit the type of material and router bit you are using. The plunge post lock is positioned in the left handle and is engaged to fix the plunge depth by turning it anti-clockwise. There is a reference mark on the handle where it needs to be positioned to lock. Turning it clockwise will unlock the router from the plunge post. The OF2200 router is designed to have excellent dust extraction collection capabilities. The router can be connected to either a 27mm or 36mm extraction hose. The integral dust collection port extracts dust right at the cutting area of the router bit, and the retractable dust shroud helps prevent dust from escaping the work area. The retractable dust shroud is spring-loaded and locks in the retracted position. To lower the shroud, press the release lever near the right-hand side of the handle. To raise the shroud, lift it up until it locks in position. The depth stop turret has 4 set positions, each with a different height or offset from the base position. The final routing depth is set for the base position, and the 3 offset positions allow for different cutting depths to reach the final depth. The small step between the lowest turrets allows for bulk pass on an edge to remove the majority of the material, then a final smaller material pass for a clean routing result. The plunge depth gauge shows the position of the depth stop post. When the index pointer is reset to 0, the gauge will show the change in depth as the depth stop post is raised. The turret latching lever locks the depth stop post to the centre pin of the turret when the turret is in the base position. This permits the router height to be controlled by the fine adjustment dial. The fine adjustment dial raises and lowers the depth stop posts for making precise depth setting changes. Each click of the dial represents 0.1 of a millimetre change, and a full rotation is equal to 1 millimetre. The index ring can be rotated separately to 0 out of the index numbers at a starting point to make it easier to determine changes in height. The OF2200 has a unique feature of a ratcheting spindle lock. Because the spindle lock is ratcheted, you don't need to remove the spanner to make multiple turns of the collet nut. Simply move the wrench back and forth. Insert the router bit into the collet. Turn the collet clockwise until the slack is taken up. Place the spanner on the collet nut. Press the left-hand side of the spindle lock that indicates cutter in. Tighten the collet nut firmly. To remove the router bit, follow the same procedure except press the right-hand side of the spindle lock. The OF2200 can be fitted with either 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch collets for use of router bits with different shank diameters. To change collets, unscrew the existing collet all the way out of the spindle and screw the new collet into the spindle. The router can be set for depth by zeroing the cutter to the surface and using the depth stop and index pointer for accurate setup. To set the depth, rotate the turret into the base position. With the plunge lock knob released, gently plunge the router until the router bit touches the surface of the workpiece and retighten the plunge lock knob. Loosen the depth stop lock lever and and lower the post until it rests on the turret base position. Slide the index pointer down to the 0 position. The router is now zeroed out and ready for depth setting. Raise the depth stop post until the index pointer is pointing to the desired plunge depth and tighten the depth stop lever. If desired, you may use the fine adjustment dial to fine tune the setting. The gap between the depth stop post and the turret represents the depth below the surface that the router bit will plunge to. Release the plunge lock knob and raise the router to its normal position. It's important to note that the router has 4 turret setting locating positions. The lowest setting turret has a step that allows for cleaner cut when using profile cutters. To set the depth, install the profile cutter into the router. Plunge the router down to the approximate depth you wish for the bit profile. Rotate the turret to the base position. Loosen the depth stop locking lever and lower the post down to the base position on the turret. Rotate the turret latching lever toward the turret to lock the post to the turret. You can now release the main plunge lock knob as the plunge is now locked to the post. Lay a straight edge across the router's base for reference. Use the fine adjustment dial to raise or lower the bit to the desired depth. Once correct height is found, the main plunge lock can be engaged and the turret lock unlocked and placed back into its holding position. A variety of optional base plates are available for the router, with a range that includes extension base plates for more support while working on edges, guide rail base plates for straight guided cuts, and base plates when working with templates. Router base plates can be changed easily without needing any tools. To remove the base plate, rotate the base plate release lever and remove the hinge tabs. To install the base plate, insert the hinge tabs into the slots and the back of the router and snap the base plate closed. The chip deflector is used during edge routing to help contain flying chips and dust. To fit the chip deflector, remove the base plate, place chip deflector in position and fit base plate back into position. Copying rings are used to control the position of the router relative to the external pattern or template that are available in many different sizes. To fit the copy ring, remove the base plate, place the copying ring into position, then fit base plate back into position. The OF2200 has a system of accessories available that include guide rails, templates and circle cutters to allow versatility when working in many applications. To keep yourself updated on Festool product information and applications, subscribe to our channel below.